Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Karina Ciechanov, VP Women and Technology at PWI. Professional Women International is a non-profit association. Our goal is to empower women in their career. I am glad to present you today this event as part of the Technology Workshop series. I hope you will enjoy it. This is my ambition for today. I would like you to leave knowing what means big data. Not only understanding what do we mean by it, but also realizing its potential and that it's a new whole business by itself. I will give you a lot of examples, and who knows, maybe one of them may create a spark on your head and you'll go home with a great idea to create something to improve your own business. I will then go to the main subject of my talk, that are the changes big data mean to managers. They will have to change in order to adapt to them. And as by the end of the talk you will know why and how to change, you will become more competitive. Big data implies also big changes on our society. And I think it's important that we are aware of them because there are a lot of issues related to this trend that need to be discussed. Some policies and regulations we could do not to be driven by the changes, but to anticipate them. So, let's begin with big data. What it is? It's like business intelligence, so trying to extract information from data, but with one of the three V's at least. We characterize big data with volume, variety, and velocity. Those are the three V's we will be talking about. So, what are we talking when we talk volume? I put some numbers there. So the global business in the world in 2011 was 1.8 zettabytes. Facebook, 100 terabytes per day. Okay, well, I imagine these are very huge numbers and almost nobody remember what was it. So let's see what it is. So when we talk about kilobytes, that's a Word document. Megabytes, pictures, your camera has 5-10 megabytes per picture. Gigabytes, we're talking a DVD here. Terabytes, when you go and buy today a disc, they will offer you 2 terabytes for 150, something like that, euros, no more than that, okay? So each time it's 3 zeros more, it's 1,000 more. Twitter, 8 terabytes. Well, that was information from 2 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it's low, more than that right now. We saw some volume, and I would like to talk about the variety now, because as you said, what are we talking about? Okay. We'll do an exercise. So who can tell me where these data come from?
Satellite imagery?
Yeah.
Public telephone, I mean the phone,
Yes.
phone is crowding my level.
And there is also a lot of information called M2M, machine to machine. We have sensors to detect the temperature of the water for earthquakes. So we are living surrounded by sensors. 2.5 exabytes per day. That's like 10,000 US Library of Congress per day. Let's talk about velocity then. Velocity, we are not talking here about how much time does it take to read or to store this. It's how much time the information is valid. How much time do I have to analyze this information? For example, GPS. GPS, well, you need the answer before you reach the corner. If not, it's not worth it anymore. Okay? So that's the kind of freshness, I would say, of velocity that we are measuring on big data. To give you an example, and this is, I think, incredible. Somebody did an experiment on the US, on the Black Friday, they call it. They measured how many people were on the parking lot an hour before Macy's opened. Okay? And with that, they knew more or less what was the rate, the average sale per customer, and they calculated how much they will earn, how much Macy's would be making that year on that day. That's a special day, and they usually represents a lot on the business. And they knew it even before Macy's made it, and obviously, so before even Macy's could measure it, manage it. Now, look if that information goes to the stock market. What if you could know that, knowing that, for example, your business is providing, I don't know what, I don't think it's the case, but you have lorries that can be used to carry what you bought there to your house. You know beforehand how many you will be needing, you see? So that's also velocity, how quick you can get to the information. In this case, it was just measuring how many phones were registered on the network, no more than that. So we talked about volume, about variety, and now you know what is velocity. So if you have information and you have such a huge volume that standard software cannot deal with it, or if you have a variety of sources, mainly text information or voice information, or if you have a particular velocity, you're talking about big data. And the objective of this is to analyze this data, is to find patterns. It allows us to think and to go beyond the information we have. We will see one application and we will see how we can visualize this information, because I'm pretty sure you think like me, okay, we have a lot of data there, but how can we find it? How can we see what it means? Well, we do that with visualization.
So I need some help to start this video. And what you can see here, each dot is an SMS. So here we are in Amsterdam. We are the 30th of, so we are the 1st of January. And then you can see traffic going on. You can see the dots coming up and going down. It is an ebb and flow of normal traffic. See what happens on the 31st, midnight, right? We all do that. We all contribute to doing this.
Wow.
And this is simply visualization. So we're just taking raw data in real time from the telecom network. It's anonymous, it's aggregated, there's nothing personal there. But it does show where things happen and how big those things happening actually are. So this is normally the first thing that we do when we take these data sources, try to visualize them. Let's go.
I would like to do like an exercise. Can you come up with something? Because we are using applications of big data every day. Do you know where? Well, what could you be seeing as big data?
Traffic control.
Traffic control, yes.
Every free application you have on your tablet.
Yeah.
Yes. So they do it. They don't do it for nothing. I mean, it's free, but they are capturing all that information. See?
In the contract, when you say you agree,
Yeah.
it says that they can go read your emails.
Yes.
It says they can read your emails, they can see all your browser history.
No, yeah, I never read any contract, I just agree.
Yeah, that's a problem. And the problem is, can't you agree? I mean, can you say no?
No, exactly.
So if you say no, you're just out of the world.
Yes.
So it is really time that we create policies for that.
Yeah, but if you say agree as well, there's usually pages and pages.
Yes, they do it on purpose, I would say, in many cases. The big data players, I think you know already about Google, Facebook, LinkedIn. What do I mean by LinkedIn, for example? You have now on your right a box that says people you may know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also there are these bubbles.
And the bubbles, yes, exactly. For the public services, we just saw a little bit on the video what could be done, and this can be used for any smart city application, traffic management, energy management. We are going to ambience intelligence, so domotic, or I don't know how you call it right now. But well, everything will be with sensors, and it will heat up just before you come. It will lower when you are not there, and that will make for a lot of save of energy. What about to make you more competitive? Let's see what means this for a manager, for a decision maker. When you had information, they were using it. But if not, it's their experience. They are saying, okay, I want you to go this way, just because with all the experience I have, I think that's the best shot we can do. There are some cognitive bias with this, with experience and intuition. The overconfidence bias is one that makes us think we are better, or we know better than what we really know. For example, who thinks he's a good driver? Everybody. The bad ones are the other ones. But then, if everybody thinks it's a better driver than the other ones, that means that the average has a small problem. Okay? So, the availability heuristic, it's another one. The last thing you have been talking about is what you have in mind. So when the new case is in front of you, you first remember that one, and then the other cases that are related, and only later on you think of your real experience with that. So that's a problem sometimes. And the status quo. I think everybody knows what is a status quo. That means we are naturally avert to risk and change, and we prefer staying as we are. So now that we will be having, and we are having, a lot of information, but we can reach it, managers have to change. They have to have the instinct of asking, what do the data say? So the information is just there. We have to think of going there and check. Is my intuition correct? Don't forget asking where it comes from, just to be sure to correct any bias it may have. Take your degree of confidence on that information. But if the data is saying you don't have to move on that sector, you're marketing for this particular segmentation, and it doesn't seem to have a real need, something concrete behind your decision, you have to be ready to override it. You have to be ready to say, okay, I thought this was the way to go, but now with the data I see it's not, and we change the strategy, we go another way around. Because we have to focus more on questioning, on making people go to the data and look for things to validate the decisions. So it's just a change on the management. So instead of asking, what do you think of this? Just ask, what do you know for fact? We have to let go of our imagination and think, okay, what would be great for me, for my product, if I knew what the consumer is looking, or when will they go to the supermarket, or what, and just try to see, the data may be there.
I totally agree with your pointing out management evolution. Just that you see sometimes something that happens, and instead of having data-driven policy making, you have policy-driven data.
Yes, because that's a problem. When you know already where you want to get, and you just want data to confirm your opinion.
Right. You ignore everything that's contradicting your strategy.
Yes. Well, that's not something to do. That's for sure. But that means that managers have to be able to lose their face saying, okay, I thought that was the way. Okay, now investigate, come up with this. This is what we are looking for. And if the data doesn't respond to his hypothesis, you have to be ready to drop it and go another way. So it's a change. It's a big change. For me, big data is a do or die. There's no way around. I mean, you have to use it because it's there, and if you're not using it, the others are. Okay? There is a whole new set of business just related to data, so you can have ideas to do something with that. And there is a management revolution for me, a big change. In fact, it's a new paradigm. A new paradigm is when you look at things through another perspective. And why I'm saying that? Because for me, the meaning of experience, the value we are giving to experience and learning and knowledge is changing. So this goes really to the basics of this society of knowledge, where we value knowledge. Thank you very much then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.